Hi guys, it's Vix from New Age Hipster and I'm here today with a past life power spread to share with you. I've had a request to do some kind of tutorial to help with past life stuff, so I've come up with this spread and I hope that it helps if this is something that you're interested in. Usually when I'm doing a reading for a client, I get most of my past life stuff kind of comes through clairvoyantly, but it often comes through clairvoyantly with cards as like the kind of springboard for that information, and that's kind of how I do readings anyway. I don't just look at the cards and rattle off the meanings or whatever. They tend to give me ideas and give me thoughts, and kind of just like they're kind of like the key for me, really. They're kind of like the it's kind of hard to explain. Basically, I look at the cards and then I get ideas and thoughts and whatever about you and about your question and your reading. But sometimes, the clairvoyant stuff doesn't come, and sometimes, we haven't developed that skill yet, or we're not even maybe interested in developing it. For some of us, I think we just want to get like some information about our past lives, just kind of quickly and easily, and do what we're going to do with it from there. So what I've done with this spread is it's really simple. It's based on a 3-card spread, which is my favourite. My absolute favourite spread is the 3-card spread. I don't even know if you can really call it a spread as like a 3-card draw. Anyway, I love threes. I've got like 333 all over New Age Hipster, and I totally resonate with a 3. So pulling 3 cards for me is just like easy, and it answers most questions, and I love it. But what I've done with this spread is I've also pulled an extra card at the top. So it's only 4 cards, but I will show you some other ideas about how you can get a bit more information by pulling some more cards. So what I've done, I've already pulled the cards for today. I haven't looked at them yet. I'm just going to explain to you the positions first, and then I'm going to turn them over and just kind of give you a faux mini reading. So this reading isn't for anybody. It's just going to kind of like give you an idea of how to do this for yourself. Okay, so the card at the top, this is the soul card, or the soul lesson card. So when I first started playing around with this reading, I thought, this is the soul card. This is the card that represents your soul, without your lives. Which is kind of a big ask, I think, to have one card to tell you what your soul is, because I think your soul can't really necessarily be described in one card. But you can look at this a few different ways. You can look at it as kind of like your soul energy, but also what it was kind of representing to me when I was playing around with it earlier is like a soul lesson. So it could be like what your soul is learning in this life, or what your soul has been learning over the last couple of lives, or something like that. However it resonates with you, and that's something that's really important, I think, when you're doing any kind of reading or using any kind of spreads. You need to make it work for you. So if what I tell you doesn't totally resonate, but you like the idea of it, like, feel free to change the meanings of the cards. Feel free to change, the layout, add more cards, take away cards, whatever. You got to make it work for you. Just like you've probably seen my video of the Celtic cross, or if you haven't, that's around if you want to see it. But basically it's my version of the Celtic cross. So, it's taking something that already exists and making it work for me. Anyway, so that's what that card represents. It's basically you, your soul, what you're learning, what's going on for you. Okay, and then we've got the 3 cards are, this one is how this past life affects you in your current life, and what you need to let go of. So it's kind of like the energies that you've brought in to this life from your past life. And so when you're doing this spread, you can ask a specific question. That's always really important when you're doing tarot, I think, is to ask a specific question, because a lot of the time, you can totally ask, general, what do I need to know right now? And that's completely fine. And sometimes that's just what we need. But at the same time, if you ask a general question, you're going to get a pretty general answer. So if something's happening in your life, like you're struggling with work stuff, for example, and you always seem to be unhappy at work, you could do this spread and just ask, how does my situation right now, with all the stress I'm having at work, how does that relate to my past life? And then you can use this spread to kind of examine that aspect of your life and, you know, where these things come from. Okay, so this is the how a past life is affecting you now. So what you still might be holding on to, what you might need to let go of, or what you just might need to examine and kind of be aware of so that you can move through that and get over that kind of, it's kind of like the challenge. The middle card is your past life power. So this represents something that you've brought with you from past lives that can actually really help you. Because a lot of the time we talk about our past lives as, you know, we've got to get rid of, you know, all that shit from our past life that we're still hanging on to. But there's also a lot of great things that we've done in our past lives, and there's, you know, great people that we've been. And I think it's very important that we embrace that. And especially if we're going through difficult times or we're going through a lot of self-doubt and things like that. Like, so many times I've done a reading for somebody and they've just been in this place of complete self-doubt, and I've got like a intuitive hit about a past life, and actually there was someone really, really powerful. And I think that can really help us at times. So yeah, so the middle card is your past life power, and it's something that you need to embrace more in this life. And the third card is a reminder, a message, or a memory. It's something that you need to remember, something you need to recall about this past life. So something that will be really helpful to you. And I'm kind of leaving that just open at the moment, just leaving it like that, because I think that the messages we get about our past lives, I don't think we can always really put them in a box. I've seen loads of past life spreads online, and some of them look absolutely amazing, but some of them are really like go into so much detail about like, where did you go to school in a past life and stuff like this. It's like, is that really that important? I mean, I'm sure, you know, we can find value in that stuff, definitely, but this is just like a reminder. So this is something that your past life, your past you wants to remind you of. So it could be anything. All right, let's turn them over and let's have a look and see how it works. Okay, so this is our soul card, our soul lesson. So I've got the Hierophant, and straight away I'm like, oh my god, I hope this reading isn't for me, because the Hierophant is like so not a card that I resonate with. I see this guy and I'm just like, oh, like it's just religious dogma and all that stuff. But anyway, that's my personal that's my personal feelings about it. And also, you know, when I do readings for other people, I do a big thing of like, you know, letting go of my personal judgments and my personal ego stuff. So if you do have a reading with me and this card comes up, it could mean loads of different stuff. It's not necessarily going to be, well, it definitely won't be anything, you know, my preconceived ideas about it. But anyway, so using my own personal preconceived ideas about it for this spread though, because it's just an example spread, so I'm just going to use what's coming up for me personally. As a soul card lesson for me, oh god, okay, I'm just like getting a feeling now that this isn't going to be something for me. Okay, so I think that there's a lesson in this life to kind of like not, well, I'm getting like a forgiveness vibe, and a real like past lifey vibe of you know, that religious kind of dogma stuff. So a soul lesson for me in this life may be to kind of come to terms with that, to see that, you know, what happened in a past life, it was that people are basically playing parts, and people are just doing what they think they're supposed to do. And so people who do get caught up in these like religious, you know, fanaticisms and you know, or people, it's not even really about fanatics, it's about people who are kind of like in these positions of power within religions who may not necessarily be living as they are preaching. So it's that kind of like, are you walking your walk? Are you walking your walk? Are you walking your talk kind of feeling? So there's loads of stuff coming up for me about that, but that's just a kind of a bit of an example of what kind of lessons could we be learning in this life. It could be about coming to terms with that, finding a place of kind of finding a place of understanding for other people who are following a different path, things like that. So okay, then we've got how this past life affects you. and what we need to let go of. Okay, so okay, so we've got Ten of Wands, and straight away it's like, okay, we're very tied into this, very, excuse me, we're very stuck in some of our thoughts and beliefs about, we're stuck in a lot of thoughts and beliefs about, this is really interesting because as I'm looking at this card, I'm getting like all sorts of throat chakra stuff coming up. Okay, so who says this this spread isn't going to work? Okay, so yeah, I'm feeling like this kind of dogma, religious dogma stuff is coming up for me as something that's made me feel particularly stuck and bound and unable to live my own truth. And that is something that I'm definitely working on. I think a lot of us who are into the spiritual kind of stuff, you know, we're working on trying to understand that now we're in a place where, you know, we're in a lifetime, most of us, not all of us, where we can be more open about this stuff. And we don't have to fear religious leaders in a way that we have done in past lives. So that's what we need to let go of. That's what I need to let go of, is that fear of, really like that fear of being kept quiet. Okay, yeah, so much for a, excuse me, so much for a little mini example spread. Okay, so let's have a look at our power and something that we can embrace. Okay, the first message I'm getting from this for me is, you know, when we look at this upright, she's off on her soul journey, and she's, well, not even a soul journey, it's just like she's walking away from things that are difficult and painful. Reverse, this is about not walking away from things that are difficult and painful, and standing in your power when things do get tough. And I think that is a perhaps a power that whatever past life this is showing me at the moment, there may have been a power in, even though, you know, I was kept quiet and had a lot of fear for people around me, that I didn't walk away and that I didn't run away. You know, I don't know if that's necessarily, if that was necessarily the best choice in that life, but there's definitely a kind of energy about me at the moment, and something that I can embrace. It's about not walking away when things get tough or when things get hard. Okay, and then the final one is a reminder, message, or memory. Okay, so I've got Four of Wands, which is a beautiful card. I love this card. She looks so happy. Okay, I see this as a reminder for me to stay in balance, but to do that by really being in gratitude and really remembering how beautiful the world is. Because even in times when things have been very difficult, you know, in past lives or in this life or whatever, that there has always been that feeling for me deep down that actually things are good. And like I've always felt happy on like some level, even like in my darkest moments. And that sounds really like weird, but I do think that that is something that is just within me. And you know, you hear about all these courses and stuff, like how to be happy and how to, like, you know, how to be happy in 30 days and whatever. And I think they're absolutely amazing, and I think that, you know, there's so much value in those. But I do think that some of us have come into this life with this feeling of, you know, deep down kind of like contentness, even when things are really tough. And some of us don't have that. And, you know, that begs the question, well, maybe we all have that and we've just forgotten it. But yeah, for me, I've always felt like that, and I've always felt that deep down somewhere. That's always been there for me. So I think that's a little message and a little reminder that actually that's not just from this life, that might be, I'm getting so emotional, that might be like a soul thing for my soul. So wow, okay, so that's actually a really beautiful reading for me. Now I just feel like I've made you sit there and watch me do a reading for myself. But anyway, I hope that that you have a go and that you enjoy it and that it brings up something for you. If you want to, because I do think that when we're working with past life stuff, it can be pretty hard hitting. I did a regression just the other day where, you know, I saw myself stab myself and I saw myself get run through with a sword in the street, and it is, you need to be in the right place to do it. I don't think we should all just be running around doing past life spreads just, you know, for fun. I mean, it can be a bit of fun to be like, oh yeah, you know, I was in Egypt, like, yeah, cool, that's really fun. It's really fun to know that, whatever, it's really interesting. But there's, I'm just getting a message now that actually we need to have respect for our previous selves, and we need to think of our previous selves as different people, even though, you know, we carry their energy. We need to respect them and show a lot of respect for them. You know, just as we want other people to show respect for us in this life. So please don't take it lightly, but also, you know, it is an amazing thing to do, and I hope this spread helps you do that. So if you do have a go with this spread, like, feel free to make a video. You can post the link below here, or you can let me know over on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you like to hang out, because I'm all around. But do hashtag me, or tag me in your spreads and stuff, because I'd love to see like how it goes for you, and if you get something awesome out of it, like I just did in this little mini this little mini demonstration for you today. So this is the past life power spread. We've got the card at the top is the soul card, or a soul lesson. Then we've got how this life is affecting you now and what you need to start to let go of. The middle card is your power, something you need to embrace. And the last card is a message or a memory, something that you can call on right now in your life in this situation. So something that will kind of help you at this point in time. Okay, so that's it. I hope you enjoyed that spread, and I hope you give it a go. And yeah, that's it. Sending you loads of love and light.